Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today here we have this Lexus. We're going to be showing you guys how to do headlight and taillight tint. So we're going to be doing the headlights. We're going to be tinting these in a smoked finish. Today we're going to be wrapping the complete headlight, just this upper piece down here. We're going to be leaving this just exposed, so we're not going to be wrapping that in the tint. So we're going to be showing you guys how to do this, how we tint them. We're going to show you guys how we curve it here. As you can see here, it's not a flat light, it has a curve here, so we need to have the material pull itself into here. So we'll show you guys how to do that, how we put tension on the wrap. In case some of you guys want to try it at home, you guys can. And then we have the tail lights. Check these out. These are super complicated. As you could see, they have a few parts that are actually hard to wrap. So we have these two parts that come out of the light, so they're like little fins that it has right there. So it's a little tricky when it comes to that area. That's one of the points that I look at. It's a little difficult. Then you have another curve down here. So you have this curve here, as you can see right there. You got to figure out that curve, and then after that you have another curve up here, which the vinyl has to pull itself all the way up, and it's a 3-point corner here. So it's a pretty tricky light. We're going to show you guys how we tint these, and yeah, if you guys can learn something from it. These are more the trickier lights that you're ever going to wrap if you ever wrap these. So once you have these down, you'll be set when it comes to wrapping any tail lights. But yeah, it's super complicated. Not a lot of places or people could do it. And yeah, it just takes time and practice, and trying to figure out how you're going to wrap the light before you do it. So you got to look at it and figure out where you're going to start, how you're going to lay it, and yeah, pretty much figuring it out is the way it's gonna go. But yeah, we're gonna be doing these also in a smoked finish. So we're gonna be doing the two outer pieces and then these two center ones here. These are pretty easy. Same thing, they just have a corner here, so we're gonna have to fold the material in so you can't see the inside of the side light. And pretty simple over here, pretty much flat. They just have this top piece that also curves in like the rest of the taillight. But yeah, pretty tricky lights. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna do the headlight first and show you guys how we're gonna lay that down, curve it, and knock that one out, and then we'll come back and show you guys how we do these tricky taillights. We're gonna put some heat, turn that edge, now we're going to go ahead and trim the top. We're going to go ahead and just score the vinyl. Alright, so as you can see right now, it pulled up the vinyl and now it's pretty much just tearing through. If I grab it from here and try to lift it, it probably won't be ripped. So I'm gonna try to pull it from here. So as you can see here, it's lifting up the vinyl. It's not torn there. It's still intact together. But you can see that when I pull it in this direction, it'll go ahead and just tear, following the blade mark that I put on the vinyl. So just what you want right there. You don't want to go through the vinyl because then you'll scratch the light, and yeah, then you gotta replace it. Alright, and perfect. The headlight is all complete, just like that. And yeah, we did this. So this is using the Vvivid premium tint. So this is a smoke tint. Check it out. This is what the backing paper looks like. So when you buy the material, you want to make sure you have this on the backing paper. This is Vvivid's dry application tint. Similar to vinyl, a little bit thicker and a little bit tackier. So yeah, it's not completely the same as vinyl, but it kind of has the same properties. Air release, dry application, stretching. When you heat it, it has the self-healing. And yeah, super nice tint. We like it. And yeah, the old way to do it would be tinting your lights with paint and clear, which is permanent, and then it doesn't really have that nice shapes with that nice tint that this film gives you. And yeah, it's completely removable, so if you ever do get a ticket, you don't got to replace your whole lights. You can just go ahead, pull this off, and go back to OEM in the future. And it works as a protection also. You could use this to protect from headlight rock chips, you know, scratches, sun fading, all that stuff. It'll go ahead and protect the headlight, and it'll be lighting you underneath once you go ahead and take this off. But yeah, check it out, looks great. You know, nice subtle change to it. Go ahead and close the hood. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. We're gonna go ahead and hop over to the backlights now and show you guys how we do those things, because they're pretty complicated to tint, and yeah, a little tricky. So we'll go ahead and show you guys how we work those lights. Yeah, let me clean it real quick. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this front headlight. So what you want to do is pay attention to this curve area. So we're going to go ahead and start laying this area, and then we're going to apply some heat here and give it that stretch it needs, so that we can go ahead and get tension lines pulling the vinyl in and making these curves that you need here. So you want to make sure you use some heat. I'm going to go ahead and show you how that is done. So we're going to go ahead and start laying this front side on this side first, and you could just leave this side drop down. You can set all this side down. Work it to around there. So what we want to do is, when we add heat, you don't want to stretch too much from one area. So we're going to go ahead and add heat here and glass this entire piece and get this stretch to come out of this whole piece here. So you don't want to heat too close to where the vinyl is set down. So you don't want to heat too close to here, because then you're going to get a glue line here. So you mostly want to heat in this area. That way you're able to make the curve. This is pretty much where this curve sits. So you want to make sure that you pull out this way and you make these tension lines come out this way, so that, as you can see, those tension lines are pulling itself up on the headlight. So that's kind of what you want to do there. You want to make the vinyl want to curve itself in, so you don't have any of that buildup. Because if you just lay it down right now, you just lay it like this, you're gonna have material building itself up here. So you need to stretch the material. Same thing down here. There's a lot of buildup here, so you want to get rid of that by pulling the tension. And yeah, having the material just hug itself around these curves. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. And so as you can see right now, it's nice and warm. We're gonna go ahead and glass it all the way around. Perfect, just like that. So as you can see, we have tension lines going side to side, and when it comes to this curve area, we had extra material. Now it's pretty much flat. We can just go ahead and set this down. And we're going to focus on the center line. So we're going to focus on the center line here, setting this down. That way all we got to do is stretch the material a little bit up, or stretch it downward. So now that we have the center all locked in all the way to the corner, we can go ahead and work up and down from here. heat it right here. So we have a little bit of extra here. We gotta heat a little bit. And then same thing, glass it. Glass down to the corner. Set that line down. And now you just have a bubble over here and a bubble over here to set down. So you just work it outwards. So one thing you want to do is, it really matters what way you move your hand when you're setting material down. So depending on what direction you squeegee, when you're squeegeeing, you're pretty much pushing the material in whatever direction you're squeegeeing. So like right now, I'm pulling this way, I'm squeegeeing that way, so I'm pulling the material away from this corner. So when you're squeegeeing, you want to make sure that you're pushing in the right direction so you don't get buildup at the end. And yeah, everything just sets down super nice. Alright, so we have everything pretty much down here. Alright guys, so now when it comes to tucking around the edges, I have a Teflon squeegee, so you can go ahead and use that. It's a pretty stiff squeegee and it won't really scratch the material, but as long as you don't put too much tension on it, it won't tear the material trying to push it into corners. So you just want to be real careful when it comes to tucking it. You don't want to put too much pressure on the squeegee and then tear the vinyl. You just want to lightly tuck it in there, make that curve around the edge. Alright, so once you go all the way around and you're ready to go ahead and start trimming, you want to make sure you use... Alright, so we're just going to go around the whole light, tuck everything in. Perfect. Alright, so it's all set. So now we're going to go ahead and post heat everything. We're going to make sure nothing pulls back. And since the material is kind of curved around the corner right now, when I heat it, it's going to pull itself under the corner. So that's what you want. If there's any stretch on the material, it's going to pull itself behind the headlight because I already tucked it underneath. So we're going to go ahead and heat now. Perfect, just like that. And if you have anywhere pull itself up, you can go ahead and pick it back up now and push it back in. So I'm going to go ahead and start trimming. You want to make sure you have a really sharp blade, so if you need to clip your blade, go ahead and clip it. We're going to go ahead and start doing some relief cuts. So we have some tension here in this area. We're going to go ahead and make a relief cut. So you're going to lightly put your blade on the vinyl. You want to make sure you have your blade laid down like this. You don't really want to be poking through. So you want to lay down your blade as much as possible and just score the vinyl. And you're going to see right now how the material is not cut through. So I'm going to cut through at the end. But as you can see here, the material is not cut through, so as I pull and put tension, it'll go ahead and tear because of that light line that I made there. So it's pretty much a guide as to where you want the material to go ahead and separate. And that was a little too light, so we're going to go ahead and do it again. There we go. Perfect. So now we can go ahead and make this curve here, drop the material in. Alright, so now we're gonna go ahead and start trimming. And for this trimming, I am gonna go all the way through. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I do this. So if you look at my blade, you can see that the blade is just barely poking out, and it has this side protection here. So when you flip it over, you could see. So what I do is I use this side plate to go ahead and lean up against the whatever panel that I'm leaning up against, using as my guide, and then the blade just cuts through there. So depending on what position you put, so I poke through. So if you put your blade like this and you poke down, the blade's not touching. That guide is stopping the blade from touching. So when I want to start cutting, I just lightly tilt my blade down. As soon as I see it go through the material, then I stop there, and that's how I just run it through. And yeah, the blade doesn't go in at all. It just goes as deep as it needs to for the material. So as long as you don't put it anywhere that it's gonna cut something, you pretty much just be floating in the air, following that guide cutting through. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do that real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and poke it, run all the way through. And then just use the light and the fender as a guide. Go down, and you can see right there the cut is pretty much done all the way through. And it's done to that corner. Now we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing for this side. So I'm gonna use that bottom metal protection. Just go ahead and lean it down against the bottom of the headlight, and then follow that all the way around. Positions. I don't want to get in the way so you guys can see, but yeah, there you go. Just gonna follow it all the way. Now we're gonna stop here. And then here we're gonna make a cut here. We're gonna do the same thing. We're lightly gonna score the vinyl. It's not gonna go through the vinyl. We're just gonna lightly score it so that the material tears there when I put tension on it. So lightly score it. It's gonna go through. There you go. And as you can see, it's pulling up the material. It's not tore all the way. And there you go. Now once you have it through, it'll go ahead and just start tearing. So very good, just like that. All right. So now we're gonna work the rest of this. So same thing, have your blade poke out. Super sharp blade, so doesn't need too much. Just barely needs to go through the material to start cutting. There we go. We're gonna put some heat, turn that edge, Now we're going to go ahead and trim the top. We're going to go ahead and just score the vinyl. see right now, it pulled up the vinyl and now it's pretty much just tearing through. If I grab it from here and try to lift it, it probably won't be ripped. So I'm gonna try to pull it from here. So as you can see here, it's lifting up the vinyl. It's not torn there. It's still intact together, but you can see that when I pull it in this direction, it'll go ahead and just tear following the blade mark that I put on the vinyl. So just what you want right there. You don't want to go through the vinyl because then you'll scratch the light. Perfect. The headlight is all complete, just like that. And yeah, we did this. So this is using the Vvivid Premium tint. So this is a smoke tint. Check it out. This is what the backing paper looks like. So when you buy the material, you want to make sure you have this on the backing paper. This is Vvivid's dry application tint. Similar to vinyl, a little bit thicker and a little bit tackier. So yeah, it's not completely the same as vinyl, but it kind of has the same properties. Air release, dry application, stretching. When you heat it, it has the self-healing. And yeah, super nice tint. We like it. And yeah, the old way to do it would be tinting your lights with paint and clear, which is permanent, and then it doesn't really have that nice shape with that nice tint that this film gives you. And yeah, it's completely removable, so if you ever do get a ticket, you don't got to replace your whole lights. You can just go ahead, pull this off, and go back to OEM in the future. And it works as a protection also. You could use this to protect from headlight rock chips, you know, scratches, sun fading, all that stuff. It'll go ahead and protect the headlight, and it'll be like new underneath once you go ahead and take this off. But yeah, check it out. Looks great. You know, nice subtle change to it. Go ahead and close the hood. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. We're gonna go ahead and hop over to the backlights now and show you guys how we do those things, because they're pretty complicated to tint, and yeah, a little tricky. So we'll go ahead and show you guys how we work those lights. Alright guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get started with tinting these tail lights. And like I was telling you, these are super tricky tail lights to tint. You could see that there's these 2 points that poke out of the light. Then you have this curve here, and then you have this other curve up here, which you need to do the same thing as the front. Same concept, where you need to put tension to the sides, both sides, so that the material pulls itself in here, and then you got to work it up and wrap it around the edges. And even the edges curves back up here, and then makes another curve in, and same thing all the way around the light. So pretty complicated light. It's probably one of the hardest taillights to tint. Taillights. And yeah, there's also some other taillights that are pretty tricky, like the F-150 headlights. They have similar piece that pokes out like this, and it's pretty aggressive. But we've tinted those, came out super good. And yeah, we're gonna show you guys how to do these real quick. So we're gonna be using the same film, Vvivid Premium film, and it's gonna be the same finish. So this is the smoke finish we're going to be throwing on the back also. And we got a little larger piece than we needed, because we need that extra material to go ahead and make that stretch. And we need that extra material to heat up and stretch around and get it to make those curves. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to begin with this area here. So we're going to try to lay this area here first, and then stretch it over to this side, set these points down all the way around, then set the center area down, get the stretch from the center to feed these 2 points. Then we're going to go ahead and set the top, stretch this way, set it down, lock it down, and then we're going to finish off this side, applying some heat here, glassing this way, getting those tension lines moving side to side. And we're going to finish up with this top side up here, setting this down once we get the tension going side to side. So yeah, steps, there's ways to do it. We want to not lift the material as much as possible. So yeah, this is super thick material, so you don't want to overstretch it in the wrong direction. It's not like vinyl where you could set it down and it's going to stay. If you have too much buildup, it is going to pull itself back, and you know, you're going to have fingers and stuff like that come up later. So you want to make sure you work this the right way. You want the material hugging the light, so you want to pay attention to that. So we're going to go ahead and get started laying the taillight, and yeah, show you guys how it's done. Alright guys, so right now we don't need any heat. We're going to go ahead and start, and like I told you guys, set this side down first, up to here. I don't want to set this area down because like I told you guys, I want some, I'm going to end up lifting a little bit, and I want to put tension this way to go ahead and curve it up. But right now we're going to add some heat. Put some tension that way. So go. Alright, so perfect, just like that. As you can see here, you have a lot of tension going that way. So we're not going to set the vinyl down like this. This is just to start getting the shape around the light here. So we're going to work it around these parts that poke out of the light first, just like this. All the way around, just like that. Just going up to the first points here. So we're focusing on these 2 points here. A little bit, tiny bit of heat. And like I told you guys, so there's a trick to this. There's these points. I can't set the center down yet because if I do, then I'm going to have too much tension in the corner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on these 2 points, setting these down first like this. Perfect. And then I'm going to set all this down in one motion, just like that. So I pretty much set this down right here underneath these points, but I haven't set the center area first because I want the tension to feed into there to come from all this area here, so it's not going to pop up later. Alright, so now once it's set all the way around, you can go ahead and set the center down. Nice, like that. And now we're going to go ahead and work the top point. So, going to lift here. And for the top, I can go ahead and get some material from up top to feed into here. So, I'm going to lift it off the light and push it down. Once you start stretching this film, the air really starts to fail a little bit. Perfectly normal, just because this is a lot thicker film and it's super tacky, so stretching is going to do that. Perfectly normal, nothing wrong with it. You just got to learn how to work with it. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the bottom light. Lift the bottom so we can feed this bottom edge. Keep the material warm because it will tear on you. Just like that. You need a lot of patience with this. Takes time, and it just takes practice to go ahead and figure out the lights. Alright, so this is pretty much all set, and yeah, we're going to go ahead and now start laying this top corner here. So this top corner, like I was telling you guys, we need some. So what I'm going to start is I'm going to start setting some of the very edge of this. So I'm going to lift it, apply some heat, and it's going to shrink itself, pull itself, but I'm keeping a little bit of tension pulling this way because I want this to stay flat. slowly work the material away from this corner. So I'm working that way and this way, spreading the material. So heat, we need some heat here. So we got the corner set. I just got there's a little bit of buildup I'm getting here, so but I told you guys in the beginning I wasn't gonna set this side down because I want to be able to pull this buildup out this way. And I still have some that I could pull that way. I can just apply some heat here and it'll pull itself that way. So, show you guys right now. Set that real quick. And like I was telling you guys, depending on what way you're squeegee, you're shifting the material. So if I shift this way, I'm pulling material away from this area where it's filled up where this corner was. So, pulling all the way that way. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with the tension coming this way now. You don't want to pull too much, just light tension, get some tension lines going just to hold the material down for you. So tension downwards. I don't want to pull tension up because then I'll feed into material here. Same thing with this corner. Go ahead and just hug itself around. Perfect. Now we can finish up the center area. Apply a little bit of heat. I'll work the material away from here just like this. There it is, the taillight is pretty much all tinted. Now we're going to go ahead and form these last few corners. So we're lifting the material, heating just like the front, and having it pull itself underneath the light. And then we're just pushing it down, setting it down, just like that. Same thing on this side. Perfect. Alright. So we got these corners all done. We're gonna go ahead and trim a little bit of excess material. I probably should have laid some tape around here so I can go ahead and just cut on there, but I was trying to film the video so I forgot about it. So now what I gotta do is lift away from the car, the blade, super small, and then just trim away from the car. So, just like this. And you wanna be careful because the material is kind of cold right now, so if you have the cut going up towards the light and you put tension on it, it'll go all the way up. As you can see, this material is pretty brittle. Well, it's thick and it's pretty stiff, so if you cut it, the cut will go all the way through just like that. So you want to be careful with that. Keep it warm, that way it stays elasticy and it doesn't just tear on you. Alright, just what we want. So now I'm going to focus on this top area. Now I don't want this to come up, so we got to post heat. Lift it just up to the edge. And then heat it. You can heat it, and it's just going to shrink itself into the edge. So it's exactly what you want. Heat it, lift it, and tuck it in. Very important for you to post heat lights after you tint them because they're gonna shrink. The heat moves the vinyl around, so it has the self-healing, and when you heat it, it tries to go back to its regular shape. So you want to go ahead and do that and see if anything moves around. Alright guys, so there it is. We finished up these taillights and checked them out. They look super good. And yeah, like you saw, they're not easy taillights to do at all. if this is your first time tinting, you do not want to do this. But this is just mostly to give you guys an idea of what it takes to tint. You might not be tinting these taillights, but hopefully this video helps you understand that it's important where you pull the material, how you set it down, how to feed it to different areas. You gotta, when you squeegee, it moves the material and it shifts it to wherever you're squeegeeing. So if you want to set material that way, you squeegee that way. You can't squeegee this way because then you're feeding the material into this area. So you have to squeegee that way. You gotta heat it, drag it that way, heat it, drag it this way, and you spread the material away from this corner. So that's kind of what you want to have in mind when you're wrapping. And tinting lights is kind of the same concept for everything. So I mean, you look at a quarter panel, you look at the whole piece. There's body lines on it. You want to focus on certain body lines when you first begin, and you can work from there. So it's the same concept. You work on it sideways, and then once you have those points set, then you can go ahead and work the top and the bottom. So same concept as wrapping. I hope you guys got some, a few tricks as to how to do it. I mean, doing flat taillights are way easier than doing this. So definitely a good way to start practicing. And yeah, I hope this helps you guys out. But we're gonna go ahead and do the rest of the taillights and finish up this Lexus. Alright guys, so there it is. We got the Lexus all finished up. Check this beast out. This is the Lexus GS model. This is the F type, the F Sport. Has the F package, the V8, everything. Got the power, the brakes. This thing's a beast. It's got the red interior, red leather seats, and yeah, check it out. We're gonna go ahead and take the car out and we'll show you guys what it looks like outside.